Welcome back to the Man in the Middle. I'm your host, Bill West. Today we're going to be talking about Wonder Woman 84. Is it a great movie? No. Is it as bad as many of the other YouTubers or other critics have been saying? I don't believe so. Uh, there are plot holes you could fly the invisible jet through. We'll get to that one. Uh, but it's not a bad movie. We've seen worse from DC. Uh, Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad, um, trying to Batman versus Superman. Uh, but it's not as good as Aquaman, Shazam, Man of Steel. Uh, I'm going to be one of the few who say I really liked Justice League, and I'm going to put this one down below Justice League. It's not as good as the first Wonder Woman. Like I said, it has some problems to it. Uh, what what makes or breaks a superhero movie for me is the villain. Pedro Pascal as Max Lord wasn't a great villain. At his core, he was a father who wanted to make his son proud of him, and just went bad. And in the end, uh, he ended up making his son proud of him because he gave up his power. And his arc through the movie, while a good arc, I want a good scene chewing bad guy. I want a Palpatine. I want Darkseid. I want Thanos. Uh, that's what makes a really good superhero movie for me. I will be right back. Sorry about that. I had a cat that was crying out the door. Uh, a really good villain gives the hero something to strive against, to fight against. And in the end, Max Lord wasn't a great villain. Uh, Maybe the Max Lord that we saw the last 10, 15 years, I can't remember when it was that Diana killed him. That Max Lord that was actually evil, who was mind controlling Superman and would have been a world class threat. That Max Lord, maybe. This Max Lord we saw, not so much. The other quote unquote villain also wasn't a great villain. She was a mousy little girl, lady who wanted to be more than what she was, and you could emphasize with that, but it doesn't make a great villain. It doesn't, she she was supposed to be like a mirror version of Diana, and Kristen Wiig just didn't pull it off. Maybe another actress could have done it, but not Kristen Wiig. I think she was miscast. Uh, Gal Gadot is always a joy to watch. Uh, Even back when she was in the Fast and the Furious, uh, when she was in that Wonder Woman, her role as Wonder Woman, she was probably the joy to watch in Batman versus Superman. Uh, she was one of the great joys to watch. Actually, pretty much almost the whole ensemble. I didn't care for Flash or Cyborg in Justice League, but Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, the Trinity, they were fun to watch. Uh, Her own movie was a great movie, so uh, you can't go wrong with her. Uh, Chris Pine as Steve Trevor, even though he was only there temporarily, it's always fun. He was fun to watch. His, I think he the they wrote they miswrote his character. It would have been fun to see him I'm assuming you've seen the movie by now. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and give it some spoilers. I don't, I guess I could review it without spoilers, but I don't. It's easier for me to spoil it. So, it would have been interesting to see him wake up in the 80s after he died in World War One. All the new stuff, see him waking up for the first time, and you know, we hear him, we hear him describe, a stationary bike that he couldn't use, his trying to find, some 1980s clothes he could wear, going through the Smithsonian and looking at, the art from 19, from World War One to now, the space, the missiles, spaceships, all those first things would have been cool to see before he got to Diana. And it was, but them two playing off each other was a joy to watch. It's too bad that they actually did have to kill this character in the first Wonder Woman movie. I'm trying to figure out where, like I said, some of the plot holes. Steve died in World War One. Part of the thing is he's a pilot. He was a biplane pilot in World War One. They have to steal a jet. His skills suddenly translated from World War One fighter pilot to 1984 jet pilot, which I had. I ground my teeth at. I didn't appreciate that. I don't think that would happen. I'm certain there are some things that would translate over. I mean, certainly the skill of flying, but the amount of controls that are different from the World War One biplane to 1984 fighter jet. I'm certain the amount of controls are different, and all the things he would have to learn, and the thought that the Smithsonian would leave a fully fueled and armed fighter jet on its runway. I shake my head in disbelief. Max becoming the Wish Stone. Yeah. It was an interesting idea. The fact that if you've seen the movie, you know that the Wish Stone, while it grants you a wish, it takes away what you love the most. So when Diana wished for Steve to come back, it took away her powers. When Kristen Wiig's character wished to become more like Diana, it took away her humanity, and that was an interesting idea. But Max becoming the personification of the Wish Stone, he could choose what to take from you, and I wasn't real hip on that. I liked the idea that giving the wishes was making him sick, because I would have liked to seen more of that. I would see him it corrupting him more, or really making him sick, rather than he could take uh, whatever he wanted from you when he made. So it would have made him. It could have made him pretty much invulnerable, but it didn't. Um, the makeup for the cheetah effects were okay. Wonder Woman's Eagle suit was cool. uh, at the very beginning, Diana, at 10 years old, is supposed to be running this obstacle course meant for full-fledged Amazons, and she's blithely hop, skipping, and jumping across this obstacle course meant for full-sized Amazons. You know, she's 10 years old, and she's coming, and not even coming up to the waist of some of these Amazons, and she's hop, skipping, and jumping, and I have a problem with that. I don't think 10-year-old has the legs are quite as long as or her stride would be as long as to make it from one portion of the obstacle course to another where she needed to be. They had these pegs that you're supposed to jump off one to one to one to one, and I just don't think that she'd be able to do that. But that's me. Maybe she could, maybe not. Um, the I know it's science fiction, fantasy, but being able to take over all the world's television devices or radio devices at one time, I don't think so. That is some mumbo jumbo that even I can't buy. Uh, but within the story, they needed it to work, so it did. Um, a lot of people say don't waste your time with the movie. It's 2 hour, 2.5. Oh, 2.5 hours, long run time. Uh, yeah, you had to take a break or two in the middle of it. I think they could have cut some. They could have cut it down to 2 hours easily. I'm not sure where. I'd have to think about it some more. But I think that in the beginning they probably could have cut out that whole obstacle course thing. And I know there was a lesson there that Diana needed to learn, but I really don't think it was that necessary. Some of the effects were obviously green screened, which you could tell, and or back projection, and it wasn't great. Some effects were really pretty. Some effects, not so much. Uh, Diana pulling out new powers just out of her head. There's a part where they're stealing the jet where she makes it invisible. No, hence the invisible jet. Uh, okay. you know, just because her father, Zeus, the father of all gods, could do it, doesn't mean she has the power. Also, uh, my wife and I got into a discussion about this. In the beginning, Wonder Woman can't fly. I'm more of the school that the more recent comics that she can fly, and being a she has some new lasso tricks that were cool. She could spin the lasso to create a impenetrable barrier. She could use the end of the lasso to whip people. Yeah, not quite whip people, but punch them from a distance. She could use it to lasso lightning. I think there was something like that in the first movie. I'm not sure. I'd have to watch it again. Uh, watch it. I think it's a decent movie. I think you should. I don't think you should listen to any critic, really, and go with what they say all the time, myself included. I think it's a good afternoon, sit down. Don't go into it expecting too much. Grab your popcorn, have a good time. It's. I think people have gotten spoiled with the Avengers, with almost every movie being above. I'm not gonna say great, but at least above par. And even the MCU had some duds. Captain Marvel, I'm looking at you. Uh, uh, Thor: The Dark World wasn't really great. Iron Man 3, it had some duds, uh, but I would say Wonder Woman is at least worth a look. Whether or not you want to put it in your collection is up to you. I'm going to buy it if it ever comes to Blu-ray or 4K. I enjoyed it. I I'm gonna want to see it again. And to me, that's the best measure of a movie is if I want it in my collection. I definitely want it in my collection. I'm not. I might not turn to it all the time. Yeah, I might not turn to it most of the time when I want to watch a superhero movie, but it'll be nice knowing that, yeah, it's there. That's my rambling uh, discussion on Wonder Woman 83. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Uh, I'll, I read all your comments, and I might not I might not get to them timely. I work 5 days a week, and so the only time I get to this is on Saturdays and Sundays. So uh, you know if I haven't gotten to you by Saturday or Sunday at the latest, hit me up again. Once again, this is the Man in the Middle. My name is Bill, and if you like what you're seeing, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you soon.